Hey y'all, welcome to Cute Conversations where faith meets feelings and we keep it real cute or we keep it real honest over here. My name is Brittany and I'm your favorite Christian content creator, counselor, and y'all, I'm so nervous right now to get back in front of the camera, but I'm also very excited. I have a lot to say and I want to share that with y'all. But before we get into it, let's start with some disclaimers. Okay. So this channel is not a replacement for one-on-one therapy or your time with God. Like I really want to share my experiences and share my journey because I know I'm not the only person going through these things. I know that people feel alone and I felt alone, but also like do your side, do your stuff, okay? So, and then also I want to say like I'm human. If it don't apply, let it fly. That's gonna be my own disclaimer because I'm not gonna start overly apologizing. Anyway, let's get into it. Y'all, I have been healing, like healing. Why don't I have to say something twice like they mean it? But I've been healing for real. I think the combination of being a Black woman therapist with a Black woman therapist and being grounded in my faith has kind of put me in this place where, like, oh, like I didn't realize that was a thing. Oh, I didn't realize that was an issue. I didn't realize how much I was carrying and holding those things. Wait, what? You mean to tell me? Okay, Brittany. But I know that you guys can like see the glow, right? Like, yeah. The Lord has been dealing with me um on the spirit of rejection. And I want to be clear, it is a spirit. It is. As much as I don't want to say that, like it's something that I have carried around for so long and how long I have been operating from a place of lack. I didn't realize how much like I really was just walking around lacking confidence. Like I am confident a lot. Like love breathing down. I love myself. But there are some things that people have said to me and done to me that I held inside, I held in my body. And how many times did I go into a space and communicate the rejection that I got from another place into this new space? In 2021, I stopped going to church. After I came out as gay, I stopped going to church. And one thing that I realized as I am becoming more grounded in my faith and I have a Black woman therapist, like I am not the best Brittany that I can be without faith and without therapy. That's why I say faith plus therapy equals sanity. I'm going to face my feeling. And somewhere along the lines, I forgot about that. So I was going to therapy. I was seeing a therapist. And then sometime around 2023, it stopped working. And instead of me looking for a new therapist, I stayed where I was out of comfort because I had been seeing her. When I stopped seeing her, it was 7 years. So 5 years at that point, and I'm just like, I don't want to have to find anyone new. I don't want to talk about nobody knew my story. I don't want to start all over. My previous therapist was a white woman. I appreciate her and I honor the work that we did. And she was no longer able to hold Brittany in 2025. There were a lot of things that I was dealing with that honestly no tea, no shade, but a white woman could not. She couldn't help me with. The way that my Black woman therapist we be unpacking stuff and like it happens very gently. God has really been working on me with the spirit of rejection. And I can't even say like it's just church hurt because y'all know I got stories for days. But like a lot of situations in my life, I was very much mishandled. Being a plus size woman that is outgoing, loud, extra, a lot of times in my life, people did not know how to hold me and see me for the person that I was. So there were a lot of projections put on me. And am I confident? Yes, I love Brittany down. But I realized, like, as I've been healing and going to church, that a lot of the rejection that I had faced in life, I've carried it into new situations. So I've gone into rooms and I had announced my insecurities first as a way to like, as a way to like, soft launch it or dumb it down a little bit. And how much did that either bring more awareness to the insecurity, make something bigger that it was and it never was. Like, I can't believe I did that. I tell myself I'm very self aware, but I realize in those moments where I walk into a room and announce my insecurities, it's just self protection, like wrapped up in this really, really cute self aware as well. Because I never had to do that. But when I do that, why? Because I was so focused on the things that people said to me. Like I hyper fixated on those things and not the people, the places, the experiences where I felt loved, where I felt seen, supported, and validated. I have so many good people in my life, yet I'm focusing on the things that people said to me that are not true. That's a lie. That's a lie. That's your shit, not mine. But I somehow made it mine. And I do want to be clear that I have PTSD, I have anxiety, and some of the ways that my PTSD um symptoms show up is by like rumination and obsessing. But one thing that I'm really working on is like stopping that. Like I can not think about that. Yes, I'm gonna take my meds. Absolutely. But I also don't think that I have done enough to really not think about those things. I have the power to not allow the things that people said about me to become my truth. And somehow that happened. Even so much so, like I remember texting my therapist one day and I told her that something she said hurt my feelings. Y'all know what this hoe told me? And it was facts. She was like, what did she say? Oh, she said you go looking for rejection, so you'll always find it. What I said was very kind, and I chose my words intentionally. And I was like, "What?" So I scrolled back up in the conversation, and I had texted her, and then I agreed with what she said. And then, like 10 minutes later, I was like, "No, that hurt my feelings." I don't know what the hell happened in those 10 minutes, but I was just like, "Sis is not lying." And then also thinking about, like, the people in my life, like, I have always been a very sensitive soul. I am. I can't help it. I can't change it, but what I can do is allow myself to be sensitive, have my feelings, but not let you dictate how I feel. Mm, that's tea. That's tea. That that's tea, Brit. Yeah. So as I am growing as a woman. I'm 34. So I'm 34. Growing as a woman, growing in my relationship with God. Like, I do not have to walk in a room and disarm people. I can just be Brittany, loud, extra. Another thing that I realized too is like when I walk into a room and I try to disarm people by saying things, am I really making them uncomfortable? And talk about the situation that happened to me recently where I realized the way that I respond to rejection actually matters. And I cannot control how people respond to me, but I can control my response. So I was supposed to speak at a family members event. And I want to be sensitive when I say this because I don't want to. Yeah. Anyway, we're the same as Brits. Okay. Uh, I was supposed to speak at a family members event. And I had everything ready, my presentation, my talking points, all of those things. And leading up to the event, I start to feel very, very uneasy. Like what I bring to the table, what I have to offer, who I am, my brand is not aligning with hers. And at first, I was just like ignoring my intuition and the uneasiness I felt. Because one thing about my family, we gonna stick beside each other no matter what. We just do. We support each other, good, bad, and different. Like my family, we might, but we gonna support each other. So as I began to feel uneasy, I was just like, that's my family. I'm gonna do it. And leading up to the event, there were so many things that happened where I was just like, I should probably, no, like I was going back and forth in my head. So some things happened where I was actually definitely mishandled in the situation. There was some social media posts that went out, some things that I found out via social media. And when I asked about it, they tried to call me, but I knew that if they called me, I would not be able to have the conversation that I needed to have in that moment. So I waited, I sat with it. I texted him, I was like, I'll call you in a couple days. I love you. I wanted to be very intentional about saying I love you, but also like reflecting on what I needed to do. In that moment, I was just like, dang, like, how come I found out about this on social media? How come she downgraded me from this spot to this spot? And so I was questioning my value. And then I remembered you've been feeling uneasy about this for a while. You have. And it wasn't that she kicked me off the program altogether. She changed my spot, which meant that, again, my value was not seen. I'll put it that way. But yeah, I had just decided that I wasn't going to do the event anymore. This was my moment to bow out. And so I finally called her. We had a conversation. It went as well as expected. There were moments where we didn't see eye to eye, but overall, like, it went well. And my mom was like, I'm really proud of how you handled that. And I was just like, thank you. And I didn't know why I was just so calm about the situation. But that really goes to show like I really can choose how I respond to rejection. I don't have to make what they said the truth. I am valuable. I do have a lot to offer. I am her. And they can't see it, and that's fine. So as I've been growing closer to God, like he's literally showing me the areas where I need healing from that spirit of rejection. And that's how y'all like the cries I've been crying, the intimate moments that I have been having with God, it is an addition to the work that I'm doing in therapy. The work that I'm doing in therapy and the moments I have with God, they go hand in hand. Like I'm in a place in life where I can really be my best self. And I'm just like, oh, best tea. Like, best tea. And I was in church yesterday and I was praying and I was like talking to God. And I began to affirm. Mhm, I'm about to cry. I began to affirm the things that God has told me that I know to be true. I am your daughter. I am beautiful. I am called. I am that girl. I am fearfully and wonderfully made. God, you knew me before I was even formed in my mother's womb. You called me. I am beautiful. I am wonderfully complex. Wonderfully and wonderfully complex. And so as I was praying, like I felt like this softness coming over me, this exhale, like the amount of like stress and anxiety that is held up in this area, like crying it out, like and allowing God to wrap me in his love. I heard God saying things like, there's promise in the rejection. There's purpose in the rejection. There is passion in the rejection. And I have to take these moments of rejection and know that that is not what God said about me. That is not who I am. That is their projection. And I can learn from it. I can take this moment and allow myself to reflect because I am human. Like there are moments where people are just not going to get me. And guess what, Brittany? That is fine. That is okay. I am I do not have to prove my worth to anyone. I do not have to prove my point to anyone. I don't have to prove my value to anyone. I just don't. Those that get it. And those that don't, don't. And I have to be okay with that. And for a long time, I was not okay with it. I just wasn't. I just wasn't. I just wasn't. But I'm learning and I'm growing. And I'm so proud of myself. So some practical things, right, that have been helping me in this journey of recovering, healing, growing. what do I call it? From the spirit of rejection or go to therapy. I go to therapy regularly. Um, and I talk about how I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, and I process those feelings, not just in therapy, but also with my friends. Like my friends have got to be sick of me, but in the most beautiful way because they have been there. They have they have been there even in the moments where I hyper focus on the people who did not care about me. They still showed me unconditional care and I was just not seeing it. Or maybe I saw it, but I couldn't take it in as much as I was able to because I'm focused on that. We'll go with that. I think that's now for me is speaking truth out loud. Oh, I cringe because I told my therapist that I hate CBT, but low key, like, I need to be using my skills. I do. Like, I'm at a place where I had processed my trauma. Not to say it won't come up again, but girl, like, you need to get on your Zoom. I need to be doing things where I am not just processing, but also healed from said trauma. And there are areas where I have been healed, but this area of rejection, like when I tell you it's shown up so much. So I need to like say things over myself that I know to be true and denounce, rebuke, call out the lies that have been said. Like combat a negative with a positive. And not to be like delusional or toxic positive, but no, for real, low key. Like get that shit out your head, Brit. Lock in and do my affirmations because the words matter. They do. How I talk to myself matters. And I often am like, Brittany, you need to get your shit together, get your shit together, get your shit together. That is not kind. Be kind to yourself, Brittany. Be kind. You are so sensitive, yet you keep talking shit to yourself. What? I'm funny. So if you are feeling misunderstood, overlooked, rejected, you are not crazy. You do not have to shrink yourself to fit into places that were never meant for you. Stop sleeping on yourself. Okay? I'm talking to you. Stop sleeping on you. The more you sleep on you, other people sleep on you. I did want to end this with the prayer because I am walking this healing out in real time. And I know that other people are too. So I wrote them a prayer for us. God, thank you for being a healer, not just of our bodies, but of our hearts, minds, and even the parts we've hidden out of fear of rejection. Thank you for seeing us when we feel invisible, for loving us when we feel unlovable, for reminding us that rejection is not the end, it's often redirection. I lift up every person listening to this right now, whether you're crying silent tears, wrestling with security, or finally finding the courage to show up as your full self. Remind them that they are worthy. Remind them that they are loved. Remind them that they will never have to shrink to be accepted. Surround them with people mm, who see them clearly and love them fully. Help them to walk in boldness, in truth, and in peace. And when rejection tries to creep back in, let your voice be louder, Lord. Let your truth be stronger. Let your love be undeniable. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, y'all. I will see y'all for the next cute conversation. Bye.